This is general advice and my opinions only. CFDs are high risk, past performance isn't reliable, I may be long or short CFDs and stocks mentioned. Content may contain language that offends some viewers. LEVRD operates as corporate authorised representative 001318377 under AFSL 548573. You can find our financial services guide via the LEVRD website link in the show notes.
Righto, bag holders and stop loss haters, we've got a green day. There might be an end to the war. There's a 2-week break. The bloody oil prices crash. Gold's back up. It's all happening. The Trumpy taco, he hasn't blown the living shit out of everything. We will talk about it more. There's plenty out today. We've got pre-quarterly updates. We've got some exploration drilling. And check this out as an example. I'll show you. There is 2D images of Paris Gold for talk. There is 2D images of Gorilla Gold. If 2D images aren't your cup of tea and you want 3D, that's when you go get Canetoad, the new partner of LEVRD, the sophisticated, unparalleled 3D drilling visualizer coupled with financial data, tenement data, everything. Have a look at this bloody thing up here. This is unbelievable. Live ASX announcements today that you can go into and check the 3D view of the drilling. What more do you want? If you are not using Canetoad and you are a mining company, a developer, an explorer, doing due diligence, you are disadvantaged to the rest of the world. Pretty much, if you want to get a tenement before Alex Hewlett does, the only way to do that is use his own tool against him, and that is Canetoad. Link is in the show notes. Sign up as an investor, sign up as a company. It is the Regis, and you're going to be hearing shitloads more about it. Cheers for getting on board, Canetoad. Righto, let's get into what is bloody happening today. Oh my God. There's no point putting the commodity prices up because they just all changed with the bloody Trump news. So here's where we're at the moment. Just a brief bloody snippet. The oil prices have gone down 14-15%. So Brent crude back at about a bit over $90, or West Texas is at about as 89. Gold is back up to about 48.40. Mate, silver's back up to 76. Copper's, that wasn't open when I looked, but I'd say that's bloody ripped as well. So, the majors overnight. Exxon down 5.6% on the back of this. Goldies have had a bit of a rip. Newmont's up 5. What do we got? Barrick up 4.6. She's green on screen. What has caused this, you may ask? This came out just this morning on the deadline. Trumpy has said, based on conversations with Prime Minister Sharif and Field Marshal Azim Munir of Pakistan, they've pretty much requested that he holds off the destructive force being sent to Iran, and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, Trump agrees to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. They've said they've received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. And almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalised and consummated, like a marriage. And then to, I guess, confirm it, this also come out on Trump's Truth Social. This it appears to be the official statement from Iran on behalf of the Islamic Republic of Iran. So this isn't Iran, this is the Islamic Republic. In response to the brotherly request of PM Sharif, the Pakistanis, and considering the request by the US for negotiations based on its 15-point proposal, and announcement by POTUS about acceptance of the general framework of Iran's 10-point proposal as a basis for negotiations, I hereby declare on behalf of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, if attacks against Iran are halted our powerful armed forces will cease their defensive operations. For a period of 2 weeks, safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible via coordination with Iran's armed forces and with due consideration of technical limitations. So, effectively, the strait appears to be now open for 2 weeks. It appears they are in final negotiations for an end to the war. And this appears to be the closest it has ever been to something fucking good happening in this period. So the threat, the bombing of the bridge and everything appears to have shown that US wasn't going to fuck around. Iran have come to the table, so we will see. But she is green on screen, all's dropping, and we will see what bloody happens. So we'll go into... I'm out of the trading ban, by the way. I did do one thing last night as a bit of a risk mitigation in case things went south. But other than that, I haven't touched anything, and we'll go through it. So let's rip through the quarterlies. And why not start with a bloody good story? A good story, Bellevue Gold. Bellevue Gold have produced 40.7 thousand ounces in the quarter, with average head grade lifting to 4.7 grams. Record underlying free cash flow before voluntary hedge book pre-deliveries of 158 million. So cash and gold on hand rose 16 million to 181 million, but they forward delivered about a quarter of their hedge book. Forward gold sales commitments reduced by 32,500 ounces, back down to now 91,000 ounces. So the stock has ripped 15%. They've hit their reserve grade. They needed average of 39,000 ounces for the next 2 quarters to hit the midpoint. Visible Alpha had them at, I'll show you on screen, had them at achieving 37.8 thousand ounces for March and then 41 for June. So they've nearly hit the 41 in the March quarter. So that was for the midpoint to get guidance. So they've done it. Congratulations. They've finally hit their reserve grade. They've had a good quarter, and I'll give them the same attention as I would if they didn't hit it. So very well done to the team on site there. The stock's back up to, what are we at? What is Bellevue at? $1.80. $1.80. So key details from it, ore mined 293,000 tonne at 4.6 grams. Remember, the updated reserve is at 4.7, so they've finally achieved it. So they've mined 44,000 ounces. Ore processed was 41,000 ounces at 4.7. Several production levels are now established in the higher grade Deakin main mining area. It does say first development in ore at the higher grade Deakin North mining area is scheduled in the June 2026 quarter. Now, my interpretation previously was that stoping was going to occur in the June 2026 quarter in the Deakin North. It now says that first development in ore will be scheduled in the June 2026 quarter. I don't know if they're just going to be developing in there, if they will begin stoping in that quarter or not. But it does say here that mined and processed tonnes are forecast to increase in the June 2026 quarter. Recovery was bloody good, 94.6%. They've got, obviously with all the renewables on site, they've got renewable energy rates of 90% during March. Bellevue is not currently impacted by any diesel supply issues, and they remain on track to meet FY26 production guidance of 130 to 150,000 ounces. So, and you look at what they've done with the hedge book, they have pre-delivered everything for June and September quarters. What is pretty much a third of what was due to be delivered by December quarter has been also removed. So if they effectively close the hedge book out at the same run rate that December, March, June 27, they'll clear all that out in the next quarter if they employ the same strategy, and then be left with, what's that, nearly a bit below 50,000 ounces due for September, December, March 28. So it looks like that's the strategy they're employing. Clear it while they can gradually. And as you can see, that cash balance went from 165 to 180 with 140 mil allocated to the pre-delivery of those hedges. So they're heading in the right direction. As I said, with Visible Alpha, the interesting thing I'm seeing is they're looking a lot better to achieve this FY26 guidance, but FY27's guidance is in Visible Alpha at 172,000 ounces. So that's 43,000 ounces per quarter. That has them at consensus. So I'll be interested to see with the paste fill coming in, which will slow production rates in the higher grade areas, if that 172,000 ounce consensus for FY27 is going to be sustainable or not, or if it's going to be a bit lower. I'm not sure, but they've had a good quarter, and you can see, you look at the cash balance. I don't think the cash balances in Visible Alpha will take into account what they're delivering into the hedge book, because it says their cash and equivalents was going to be 335 by the end of FY26, but I don't think that takes into account what their hedge book deliveries are. So it has them at 719 mil by the end of FY27. So you'd probably take off what the hedge book liability is if they're going to employ the same strategy to get themselves hedge free. So, as I said, well done, Bellevue, on achieving a bloody good March quarter, achieving your reserve grade. It will be good now to see that, considering all the quarters below the reserve grade, we could see some quarters significantly above the reserve grade to offset what's been mined to date. But they're heading in the right direction, and the stock has responded accordingly. Now, the Stewie Hines show, Greatland Gold, absolutely ripping again, up another 13% today. All-time high, it appears, of $15.18, broke out below the previous high. Greatland Gold, or what is it? Greatland Resources, I think. Production of 82,000 ounces and 4 and a bit thousand tonne of copper for the March quarter. Cash at 31st of March of 1.2 billion, nil debt, and a cash build of 260 mil for the quarter after capital expenditure and a cash payment of 73 mil for tax-related for the FY25 period. And they will now commence paying regular cash tax instalments with effect from this month. So Greatland ticking along bloody nicely. I think that was in line or a bit above consensus. So Telfer is printing cash. And I think the sentiment of the diesel word at the moment, with the news last night, if this strait opens and all starts flowing, considering 20% of the world's oil flows through that strait, most of it goes to China, but most of our oil comes from Asia. So yes, going to be very interesting. So it could really change the sentiment very quickly for these gold mining companies. So and they obviously announced as well that they haven't been impacted yet. No one's actually said they've been impacted yet. Everyone says they're all good. One quarterly that didn't come out too good, Meeka. Now, this may explain some of the downward share price pressure. So on this big green day, Meeka is actually flat, still at 17.5, 18 cents. So Meeka gold production of 6,083 ounces in the March quarter, down from 9.1 thousand ounces in the December quarter. So they've said that production was impacted by significant rainfall, which slowed open pit mining activities and delayed access to high-grade ore in the Turnberry Central and South pits, resulting in increased reliance on processing lower-grade stockpiles. So they said cash did increase to 50.1 million, up from 37.3. So they are still in positive cash flow, but a much weaker quarter. And I guess My take is if they're saying that rain has significant rainfall, which to my knowledge, most of it was in the last week and a half of March, unless there was other rainfall, because that's what Ramelius attributed their rainfall to have an impact of, 3,000 ounces compared to last quarter from 1 and a bit weeks worth of rain. I think there might be other issues there with the share price decline. It's been a pretty heavy sell-off, hasn't bounced today. So I'll be interested to see what else is going on there, and if they're just having a few dramas or not. I'm not sure, but that's a pretty big quarterly gold drop, which I don't think there was much more rain than March. Happy to be proven wrong on that, but yes, not the best quarter for Meeka. Next cab off the rank, what do we got? Regis, Jesus Christ, they're bloody printing as well. Quarterly in cash and bullion build of 198 million takes balance sheet to 1.128 billion. Total group gold production of 90,000 ounces. So that brings them to 277.5 for FY26 with guidance at 350 to 380. So effectively, if they get another 90,000 ounces, they're in the midpoint of guidance. So they're sitting pretty, and that build of 198 million is even after a tax payment of 92 million in February for the FY25 tax liability. So Regis sitting pretty up as well with the gold, 6.5%, sitting at $7.30. Obviously down a lot from the $10 high. So yes, which just shows you look at this chart of where Regis is sitting after their high, and it just shows the outperformance of bloody Greatland. Greatland's, even with all this happening, is now at an all-time high, and bloody gold's dropped heaps. So that just shows how friggin' smashing it Greatland are on the bloody share price front at the moment. Right, next one. Gorilla. Previous holding, not a holding anymore. 37.5, starting to rebound. This stock's it has been bloody hammered. So they released some multiple high-grade gold intercepts from Comet Vale, 10.6 at 7.1, 1.1 at 60. So good grades. I guess looking at the future is what I am thinking about with Gorilla. So 5 drill rigs are currently operating across the North Kalgoorlie hub as part of the program to rapidly grow. So that's Comet Vale and Mulwary. Then drilling is also underway at the Vivian project with 1 drill rig targeting new high-grade discoveries. So I feel Gorilla is stagnant with Comet Vale and Mulwary. They've obviously developed it. They have to either start mining it or sell something. They'll continue to grow the resource. But the kicker will be Vivian, the thing that started the rebirth of the birth of Gorilla, the rebirth of Labyrinth. So if they can actually, because I think Vivian will be the easiest one to actually get mining at once it's probably, dewatered and rehabbed and everything underground. But if they can find extensions and have a bit of a mine plan, that operation then becomes appealing to the likes of a Bellevue that might be looking for a bit more feed to send up their way, because it's pretty bloody close in that Leinster region. So all eyes on Vivian, I would say, for Gorilla. And I'll be interested to see if gold price recovers and things get bloody flying again, North American gold. We've seen what Bella Vista's done with taking Pickle Crow out of Firefly and rebirthing, chucking some lipstick on that thing. What Gorilla are going to do with their Labyrinth Gold project. There's 500,000 ounces over there at 5 grams, I think it is, in Quebec, in the Abitibi Belt. So I'd be interested to see what is going to happen with that project, if they're going to extract any value out of that. Still sitting there. So next up, Talk, current holding. So, and as I said, I'll show you the numbers. We've looked at the 2D. Go get bloody Canetoad. Here, I could just press this button. I can just press that button and just show Canetoad. Because if you want to see this shit in 3D, if they're bloody doing any director's special bloody hulls or what the angles are or anything, who the neighbouring tenements are, you go get bloody Canetoad. It's as simple as that. If you're not getting Canetoad, you're probably due to give yourself an uppercut. Simple. Right, back to that. Right, I love these buttons. So, Torque Metals. 5 metres at 15 grams from 314 metres down hole. 12.6 metres at 12.47. So, there... As mentioned, comprehensive geological and operational review underway at the Paris Gold Project. It says multi-rig drilling campaign underway for 2026. And interim MRE update for the Paris Gold Project on track for Q2 2026, which is the quarter we are in right now. So I'll be interested to see what that's... with all this new shit, if that's going to be now 500,000 ounces, I'm not sure. Yet to really have the full bloody effect, I feel, of the new Spartan team coming in. War, it's come down. It's starting to go back up 48.5, so it's nearly back at the highs of when the new crew come in. So eyes on it. They will need a big cash injection at some point because they haven't got shitloads at the moment. So whether they're going to rip out another bought deal with this new team, but I'll be sitting, holding and watching to see what this bloody crew comes up with. Okay, what else? The holdings. Right, breakthrough back at 0.155. Bit of a kick yesterday. Bit of a kick today. Everything else ticking along nicely. WAF. That position's up 22.5%, sitting at $3.44 today. Bright Star's had a bit of a kick back up to 40 cents. Same as Torque, same as Medallion. The only thing I changed last night, leading into this potential carnage, didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. I just added a 4,400 put on the gold price because I was very, very long. If gold went to fucking 4,000, I'd be getting smoked, and I didn't want to get too smoked, so I just allocated a little bit to a 4,400 put that expires at the end of this month. So I think it's a $6,000 risk, but with gold ripping at the moment, the bloody 5,100 calls getting close to being bloody neutral again. And so if we could keep going, that was my insurance. So that's the only thing I've touched. Haven't touched any other positions. Need to wait for this thing to bloody settle down. So the number, we're back not too bad. Considering she was low 100 yesterday, back up 20%, 124. Oh, God, what? Oh, I cannot believe I am excited about that. But fuck me, after this period, Jesus Christ. If Bright Star just goes back to their raise price, that is going to be a friggin' win for me. Jesus Christ. I tell you what, and if Breakthrough just goes back to what I bought them at, that's going to be a win. And I'll be likely back at near neutral. Anyway, it's been a journey. It has been a journey. I have a new tool at my disposal. I haven't yet deployed it because I'll wait for these positions to sort themselves out, or maybe soon. But I have gone down the frickin' AI route because the one thing that has fucked this whole investing process is me thinking. So why not take that out of the equation somewhat? I'll give you a little sneak peek at it. Where are we? I'll bring it up. Bear with me here. Might have to. Hold on. I'm coming. That many fucking screens here. Righto, have a look at this bloody thing. Commodity and pairs trading system. So I've pretty much chucked a shitload of tickers in, and it's going to give me actionable signals for long-short pairs. Some of them don't make sense. Some of them I can't short. So, for instance, it's telling me that, what's a good example? It is telling me that I should go long Bannerman, short Yancoal, and the weighting is about 1,400 long, 3.7 short. And the theory behind these, and I'll show you an example, is it's all HMM, like hidden Markov models. And it's pretty much finds these co-integrated pairs that track with each other and have this statistical relationship. And when the spread between the two stocks goes outside so many standard deviations, it gives an entry signal. It's like a rubber band that will effectively, as it's stretched, it should let go and come back to the mean. Should. So you find these pairs that have these relationships, and when the relationship between them separates by enough standard deviations, there's a long short signal to pair that trade for them to come back to neutral. So that's what's going to be at the disposal. So it's going to pretty much bloody take a lot of thinking out of it. I'm going to give it a run. Here's what's one here. Aris, long Aris, short Arafura with bloody pretty much 2-to-1 weighting on the short for Arafura. So, should I actually? Fuck it. I'm going to actually do one. What, since the market's up, let's have a look on the screen. Why not? Let's just do a little test. Arafura down 1.6%. Aris is up 4.5. So that's probably, once I update that, that's probably not good. I needed to do that yesterday. So, because that's already a bloody 5% friggin' delta. So I'll update the model and I might have a rip later today. I'll show you. We'll start. I'm going to start testing this fucking thing. So maybe I'm going to hold these posies and my main posies, and then I'll have a play with this bloody long short thing, and we'll just see how we go. And hopefully I don't just go fucking righto, let's just go all in on one pair and see what happens. Which would be so much fun. But anyway, right, let's have a look at the bloody posi update. What are we at today? So we've got, let me just move this over. Okay, things are looking good. Gold, where's gold sitting at the moment? 47.97. So gold's pulled back a little bit, but the equities are going all right. WAF's up 3.5. Brightstar having a kick, 12.33%. Beauty. Torque Metals up 11.3%. So that's one's going all right. Brightstar, my average buy-in was 44 cents, so still a bit to claw back there, but tell you what, should be some fucking news flow coming. Medallion up 7.5%. Back at square with that position. So, right, we're sitting all right. Let's have a look across the screen. Goldies. Top performer, Bellevue, 15.8%. Back up to $1.81. Well done to the team at Bellevue. Black Cat up 11%. Yet to hear what's happening on their operations. Greatland up 10.7 again. Orabanda back up to $1.26 at 9.3. So great day for the Goldies. WAF's the worst performer. My fucking holding. Jesus fucking Christ. Nickel. Centaurus up 4.27 to 61. Nickel Industries up 3%, 95.5. What's the majors doing? Iron ore, BHP up 3.8, Rio up 5%, MinRes up 8.3% to $59. Absolutely flying. What's in the interest? There should be some wild ones in the interesting. Firefly up 13.6%. Back to $1.94, so nearly at $2. So everything is absolutely flying today on the back of this. Lithium, PMET up 8% to 50 cents. Linetown up 3.94, back at $1.80. Wildcat up 5%, 39.5. Things are bloody, what a good day. Rare earths, not doing too bad. What's Linus? Up 3.6%, $21. Jesus Christ, that thing's going. WA1 up 7.8%, $15.60. Copper is flying. Everything's flying. A good day on the market after so much hatred. Polymetals, 78 cents, up 13%. What's the That's a bit of copper. That's mostly silver. Boab back up 9.5 to 44 cents. Andean $1.95 up 4.5%. What's the U-Dogs up to? My good friends in the world of uranium. Oh, good old Lotus is having a kick up 9%, $1.45. Boss Energy up 8%, $1.67. There's green on screen everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Coal hammered. Yancoal down 8.5% on the back of that was one of me pairs as well. Long Bannerman, short Yancoal. Should have fucking done that. But anyway, we'll get to that. Whitehaven down 5.5%. So everything's going up except energy, besides uranium, because it's not near-term energy. What's the oil and gas ones? Woodside down 10.5%. Beach Energy down 7%. Santos down 5.6%. Getting hammered. So there we go. There we go. We'll see we'll see what the future holds. And another thing that I'm bloody proud to do now, because I can. Thank you to the Dosh sponsors. And until someone else comes on, Canetoad gets a big fucking logo at the back like that. Thanks, Canetoad, for coming on board. If anyone else wants to come board and receive the best bloody plug in the world of mining podcasts, you know where to come. LEVRD. Go on the website, LEVRD.live. There's a contact me option there. You give me a buzz. I'm on LinkedIn. If you can't find me, far out. You've probably just got my number, hopefully. So, good to be back plugging. Righto, punters. Love your work. Go check out Canetoad in the show notes and bloody sign up. Because I tell you what, if you sign up, it makes me look good. And Hewlett and Mick won't be going anywhere. Righto, punters. Have a good one. Jeez, I love a green day.